Naturally Beautiful Girl. Since I've switched things up on my channel and have been posting once a week, I decided to spread out my favorites videos so that I do them about every 2 months now. I just feel like that makes a lot more sense, depending on how many weeks exactly are in a month, 4 videos, and then one of them is a favorite. That just feels like it's a little bit too frequent in my video schedule. Let's just dive right in. So the first one is one that I have not talked about before, and that's one of the things I'm finding a little bit challenging about this new video spacing is I feel like I missed having 2 videos a week in terms of being able to talk about more things. But in general, I feel a lot calmer and a lot less stressed, and I have more time for my garden, which is making me very happy. So this one is from Henné Organics. I have not actually tried any products from Henné Organics, but Beauty Heroes was having a sale a little while back, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna treat myself and pick up a Henné Organics product. And this is their lip mask. I purchased this product because I tend to have really dry lips, and I was like, you know what, I've heard amazing things about Henné Organics products, let me try this. And I really enjoy this. It is a beautiful yellow color. And the way you're supposed to use this is you're supposed to put this on your lips, leave it on like a treatment, and then wash it off. But I've read so many reviews of this product where people do what I do, which is put it on before bed and leave it on while sleeping. And I really like this. It's really interesting because it's kind of like an oily, balmy product, but it's not at all heavy or sticky or gloopy. So if you want something that's like really nourishing on your lips, but doesn't feel too sticky or gloopy or anything like this, it's a beautiful, I would say lightweight. If lightweight feels wrong using it in this context because it is such a nourishing product, but it is lightweight but very nourishing, and it has been really helping out my lips, and my lips have been really appreciating that. This I also picked up during the Beauty Heroes sale because I'd run out of my oil cleanser. I had not had this in a while. This is the Leilani Tropical Enzyme Cleansing Oil. No, it doesn't look like I've made a dent in it yet, but that's because yeah, you only need a little bit of this. It goes quite a long way, and I just wanted to hop on here and say that yes, even with using it again, even with repurchasing it, I still love it. It's a great product. I've just rotated through other ones that I've been trying, but I really like this. Leilani just makes beautiful products, and this is no exception. It's got a beautiful kind of grapefruit scent, and it does such a great job of removing my makeup, and also it does emulsify in water. Just wanted to give a little shout out here, still a favorite. This one I've talked about in a few videos here and there recently, but I wanted to formally put it in my favorites video, and this is the Kosas Concealer. This is in the shade 0.5N, and this concealer, I've had a long and complicated relationship with this. So when I tried it out in the shade 1, which was originally the lightest shade that they had, it wasn't light enough for me. It was too yellow. When something's not the right shade, it's hard to really assess it. Like, you're just so annoyed with the shade not being right that you're like, ugh. So that was kind of my thought about it, was I never really liked it because the shade was just wrong. And then I picked up this one and also started all of a sudden suffering from dry under eyes, which I've never had before. I still have no idea what's caused it. The situation is improving. I'm not having like flaky dry under eyes anymore, but my under eye skin is just drier than it used to be. And this concealer, because it's just a little bit creamier, has been working so well. So I would say if you have drier under eyes, this concealer has been a lifesaver, and I very much appreciate that they've expanded the shade range. I now have a good shade match for myself, which is 0.5N, and because they've expanded the shade range, I think everyone has a better chance of finding a shade that works well. So this has been a concealer that I've been reaching for like on a daily basis, which I never thought I would say, but here I am saying it, so I very much have been enjoying this. This next one is my teeny tiny, ridiculously expensive cream highlighter, and this is from Lila B. This is the highlighter in the shade Be Enchanting. I mentioned this in my video where I talked about the best highlighters I'd found for fair porcelain skin tones. I'll link that video up above. I swatch everything. I give the breakdown of what highlighters I have found work really well on my skin tone. This is the little like trial sample size of it. It was still ridiculously expensive, but hopefully this will last a while. I very much have been enjoying this. It's creamy, but not too creamy. It's a beautiful shade. It reminds me a lot, honestly, of the Magic Luminizer from RMS Beauty, which I've been trying to do because I don't really want to support RMS Beauty anymore. So I've been trying to find something very similar to it, and this kind of hits that spot for me, which I very much appreciate. I think it's ridiculously expensive for the product, but I like it, so I'm here to tell you that it's good. Do I think it's worth the price? I don't know. I don't know. It's so expensive and you get so little product. I'm not sure it's worth the price, but I do really like the product. I've tried out a number of products from LYS Beauty, and of course I fallen in love with them. The first one I want to mention here is the Triple Fix Serum Foundation. I've very much been enjoying this. I appreciate that there is a pretty wide shade range of this product, so regardless of whether you have really fair skin like I do, or you have a much deeper skin tone, I think there is a good possibility of finding a shade that would work for you. I have the shade LG1, which I think was the light, as far as I could tell, was the lightest shade, and this is a good shade match for me. I think it's a beautiful foundation. It's not all full coverage, it's more on the light side, but it just wears well. It holds up well on my oily skin. I've done an all-day wear test of it. If you would like to check that out, I will link that up above. But I really have been enjoying this and reaching for it throughout the past several months. And I've got a few more LYS products here. So this one I've talked about before that I originally wasn't the biggest fan of, and then I've reevaluated and come back around to liking this. And this is the cream blush, and I think part of the reason I like this product so much is the shade. I have the shade Incompetent, which isn't like my typical blush shade, but I really like it, and I find that it just fills a really unique niche in my collection. It is a cream blush. In the video, I had a little bit of a hard time with it wearing well on my cheeks throughout the day, but thanks to some suggestions from you guys, I tried applying this on top of my makeup after I had actually set my foundation, and I found that this worked really well. That made such a huge difference in getting it to stay in place. The formula is lovely in that it doesn't like break things apart, move things around, even once you've gone ahead and set your face. So it does apply really well on top of powder, which is quite impressive. So I know this has been sold out at Sephora for quite a while, but hopefully it will come back in stock at some point. I really like the shade in particular, Confident. I'll swatch it for you here. It's just, I think it was described kind of as a cinnamon shade. It's just a really unique shade and really beautiful and quite pigmented too. And even though I do have fair skin, I just use a little above it. That a little bit goes a long way. Okay, and then this one snuck up on me as a favorite. This is the translucent setting powder from LYS Beauty. I am really embarrassed to say this, but I've actually like hit pan a little bit on it. But I feel like I've been using this pretty aggressively, and you don't get a ton of product, so I think that's another reason I've been kind of moving through this. But I like it. I like that it doesn't add too much coverage to my makeup. Sometimes I like pressed powder foundations like the Clove and Hallow. I also have recently discovered the Hint Beauty pressed powder foundation. I really like that as well. But I like this one because it doesn't add more coverage, but it still does a good job of setting. And I've just been going for lighter, kind of no makeup looks, and this just plays really well into that. Even though this is a translucent setting powder, they have a number of different shades as well. The one I have is in the shade Resilience, and this works really well on my fair skin tone. This one I also have not talked about on my channel yet, but I will be talking about cream eyeshadows in a video before too long. I'm working on it. This is the Victoria Beckham, what are these called? Lid Lusters, and I finally picked one of these up. So what happened was they initially launched, and I didn't like any of the initial launch shades, and then they launched more shades, but then they went out of stock really quickly, and I kind of missed getting them. Then they came back in stock, and then I missed them again, and then they came back in stock, and I finally got my hands on one of them. So this is the shade Tea Rose, and it is a beautiful cream eyeshadow. This shade is different for me. It's not a typical cat eyeshadow shade, but that's part of the reason I went for it. But I really like this. But this formula is so interesting. It's a cream, but it's kind of like between a cream and a powder. You guys watch right here, like that shade is just beautiful. It applies really well, it wears really well. I do wear it on top of an eye primer because I do have oily hooded eyelids. But when I do that, it stays in place really well. It's a really great one eyeshadow look. I understand why there's so much hype around these products and why they keep selling out so quickly. It's because they're really good. It's a very different formula than the like Rowan Beauty eyeshadows in that it's definitely more of like a cream to powder. And obviously the packaging is beautiful. Like Victoria Beckham Beauty is always beautiful in terms of packaging. It is expensive. It is a luxury product, but for me, it has been a worthwhile purchase. I tested out a bunch of products from the Balm recently, and I wanted to share with you my favorite product out of the ones that I tried from their Green Clean line. and that is their eyeshadow palette. This is the episode 1, the Balm and the Beautiful palette. I really like this. I think this is just a really good, solid workhorse palette. It's not amazing in terms of formula, but it's just, it works. Like, it just looks good, it works well, the eyeshadows wear well on me, and I think the color story is just makes a lot of sense. You can move it in more of a cool tone direction, you can move it in more of a warm tone direction, you can kind of mix the two sides and get more of a neutral tone. Like, it's just a very versatile neutrals palette. There aren't many eyeshadow palettes I would say that about. Like, most of them lean like very warm toned or very cool toned, and this is just like perfectly balanced in both regards. It has a good amount of shimmer of like metallic shades in it, a good number of mattes. It's got a deep brown, it's got a matte cream shade. Like, I just really like it. I just think it's a really solid palette. If you are looking for like your just staple everyday eyeshadow palette, I feel like that could really be it for you. So before I finish up, I'd mentioned that I'm trying to read more books this year. So I managed to finally get my library card situation sorted out. I was a member of I still am a member of the Boston Public Library, but it wasn't as much of a problem when I was like going into work and regularly going downtown. I was able to go to Boston Public Libraries pretty easily, but just with staying at home, my house is not physically that close to a Boston Public Library. So I looked into finding one closer to where we live, and it turns out that where we live is part of like a larger library network that encompasses a lot of cities and towns kind of around Boston proper. So I was able to join that. You can order books online. It's actually really cool. So you use their online ordering system, and then they notify you when they're ready, and then you drive up and it's contactless pickup at the library, which is super cool. I have just now started using that, and I am in the process of reading the book Little Fires Everywhere. I feel like everybody's already read it. I'm one of the last people to read it, but I haven't finished it yet when I'm filming this video. But by the time I post it, I will have finished it because my library book is due. So I gotta power through it and finish reading it. So far, I'm about a third of the way through. It's good. I wouldn't say it's like amazing. I read Big Little Lies, and for me that book was just a lot more compelling, a lot more fast-paced, a lot more interesting. Granted, I like murder mysteries, so it's probably a little bit of this genre type too that I just prefer, kind of more of a mystery intrigue situation, which is not as much of Little Fires Everywhere, but it is good. Also, the author, she lives in Cambridge, so she's kind of the local Bostonian. If you have any recommendations of what I should pick up next, let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know what some of your favorites have been recently. And as I've mentioned before, it really helps me out if you comment on my videos. If you like my videos, the engagement really helps me out, so I would really appreciate if you do that. And also, if you want to keep up with my videos, be sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell button so you'll be notified of when I post new videos, and come follow me on Instagram. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirlkat there. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.